watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Good evening, folks. Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Is there a TB outbreak in Yonkers?
Ready, fatality.
Vasquez, this is Basement Politics. Happy Sunday. It is late, but I'm on. And I want to talk about a few things. Is there a tuberculosis outbreak here in the city of Yonkers? And who truly has the power in our city government? Also, update on the missing 15-year-old Edwin Valerio. Let's talk about it, folks. How you doing, folks? Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. So I'm coming on late. Rain delay. Had to deal with some issues there. And then also my streaming program. Anyway, folks, I have to update my program here. So I'm going to have the StreamYard logo on the top there. Today, I was contacted in regards to tuberculosis outbreak. Another individual contacted me in regards to possible outbreak of tuberculosis originating from the Ramada Inn on Tuckahoe Road. A couple sources have reached out. One told me that there was an outbreak at the Ramada Inn. As we all know, or maybe we don't, recently the Ramada Inn was booked all up until February of 2024 as busloads of migrants came in from New York City, thanks to Mayor Eric Adams. Some people were upset. Actually, a lot of people were upset. Many of our elected officials remained quiet. I think the mayor was the only one who spoke on it. But as far as the Yonkers City Council members, none of them said a word about it. And the migrants have been there ever since. What's the plan for the migrants? We don't know. Are they going to stay and remain in New York or in Yonkers, I should say? We don't know. How will it impact our schools and the community overall? We don't know. They haven't mentioned anything to us in regards to the migrants since we first heard that there will be buses arriving at the Ramada Inn. Another source reached out to me to tell me that there's a possible outbreak at the Shoprite on Tuckahoe. Shoprite on Tuckahoe is not too far from the Ramada Inn. So I would imagine if individuals who are staying in the Ramada had to go to the grocery store, it would be that Shoprite. And so now, is there a tuberculosis outbreak? Just take precaution, folks. I did reach out to city officials. I did get a response from city officials. They said that they have not heard of any reports. They contacted, according to the city official, Westchester County Health Department. They have not received any reports in regards to tuberculosis here in Yonkers anyway. So I don't know. I don't want to say it's a fact, but I also don't want to say that it's not true. We don't know. So take precautions. You should reach out to your council members. I know it's a shot in the dark. And find out. Try and get some answers. I believe that's District 6. That's Anthony Moranti. So maybe on Monday we can reach out to Anthony Moranti and find out if there is a health concern that we should be, cautious about. Reach out to your council member, regardless of what district you're in. They should still be able to ask questions and find out for you. This is important, right? This is our health. Remember COVID? Well, this is actually very real, tuberculosis. So I would suggest you reach out to city officials, reach out to the Westchester County Health Department and inquire with them. Find out. Say, hey, we want to know. This is what we're hearing. Is there a tuberculosis outbreak? Because something like that should not be kept quiet. I mean, people need to know. But there would be reasons why they would want to keep it quiet, right? They're not going to want to, announce that the migrants that were bussed here all the way from the border through New York City up into the Ramada Inn and have been housed there on the taxpayer dime and will be housed there up until at least February of next year on the taxpayer dime, have created a an outbreak of tuberculosis. Aside from the other issues that people are concerned about, tuberculosis outbreaks, we're going to add that to it. It's going to really upset people. And people are concerned that, well, politicians, political insiders are concerned that if this is true and it gets out, right, this is what people are saying, that it could look bad for the elected officials who are running for re-election in November. So they're trying to keep this quiet. It's what I hear. But again, I don't know. I did reach out to city officials. They told me they have not heard of anything. So I have to put that out there. And you know, take it as you will. Do what you want with that information. Again, I would recommend reaching out to city council members and county officials. Right, find out. This is important, but this is something they definitely would not want to get out. Right, people would be very upset. They're already upset. They're getting everything for free. Free housing, free food, free clothing, free transportation, right? Meanwhile, Americans are struggling. Many are homeless. In fact, the migrants outnumber homeless Americans. Ain't that something? Actually, in Westchester County. Actually, not in all America. But in Westchester County, the migrants, in New York City, not in Westchester County, New York City, the migrants outnumber homeless Americans in the city. So, and they're coming by the busloads, 400 per day. Their first stop is the Roosevelt Hotel down in New York City until they decide where they're going to disperse them. All this money that's being spent to house the migrants, to clothe the migrants, to feed the migrants, up until February of 2025, at the very least, is got to cost more money than if you were to buy them a plane ticket back to the country they originated from, right? Wouldn't that be a cheaper option? And then say, hey, you have to come back and do it the proper way. If you're seeking asylum, you have to do that at the border. And what are you seeking asylum from? You can't just say, I'm seeking asylum because I want to go into another country and then skip the line, because there are people who have actually filed to become American citizens the proper way. And so it's not fair to them, right? It's not fair to those folks who have been waiting. Might as well just come through the southern border. Why not? Not only will you get in faster, you will also be given gifts as you arrive. You'll get housing, you'll get food, you'll get clothing, you'll get priority treatment over Americans. I mean, what better way to come to this country? Just saying. And I'm Hispanic. This is not about race. Many people that are coming through the southern border are not Hispanic. They're coming from all over the country. And in fact, they just caught a terrorist trying to come through, an Iranian terrorist last week. So that's why it's important. And also because we don't want to have tuberculosis outbreaks throughout the country. Are they receiving medical attention, or are they being given health exams before they're being transported to various cities throughout the country? There was a reason why Donald Trump put that, Title 42, banning people from coming here because of COVID, right? We didn't want to spread it even further. But there are other diseases we have to concern with, like tuberculosis, right? So are they being screened for any health issues, health conditions, diseases? And I'm not, people take this, oh, you're racist, you're thinking, no, it's not about race. Americans can get diseases too, right? But I'm just saying, when you have a large number of people coming across the border like that, trekking in from wherever they came from, they're not going to be in the best of health. And who knows what some of the individuals might be coming here to this country with. So we have to protect our country, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian. It doesn't matter. If you're an American citizen, you're impacted. And this is for your protection, right? For your consideration. And those that are most impacted by mass migrations like this and illegal, immigration are Hispanic and blacks, usually American, Hispanic, and blacks. and people who are impoverished. Those are the communities most affected by immigration, right? So you have the public schools where the majority of the students are Black and Hispanic are going to be even more overcrowded. They're going to suffer the impacts. The communities that they live in, regardless if they are, poor communities, the housing is going to be more difficult because you're going to have more people that are now competing for the available, affordable, low-income housing that is not only affordable, but also in good condition, right? Livable condition. So you're going to have to compete with more people. So it impacts mostly Blacks, Hispanics, and people who are poor of all colors who are living in poverty. Those Americans are most impacted. So it's not about race. I want to move on. Hopefully there's no tuberculosis outbreak. I will keep you folks updated on this situation. Trust me, I advise my wife. She does stop at that Tuckahoe Shoprite, not to stop there for a while. I want to know what's going on. I don't want her coming home with TB. Though I'm sure we've gotten our shots and stuff for that, right? I don't know. We get those shots, right? They do it right here in your forearm, something like that. But we good. We get our regular doctor visits and checkups. So, hopefully. Of course, they will lie because they allow those illegals in our city without checking them. Thank you for letting us know. I will stay away from those businesses on Tuckahoe. Yeah, and I don't want to hurt the businesses. That's not my intention. As a business owner, I understand. However, it's important that we notify people if there are health risks by entering certain businesses, right? Or going to certain areas. It's just important. It's very important. You have kids, God forbid, right? It's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Those third world countries, people have all kinds of infections and diseases. Send them back to NYC and decontaminate our neighborhood. I don't want to sound, and I get it, but I don't want to sound, there's people that will take offense to that. But yes, we have to, we can't negate the fact that, there could be diseases, COVID even, right? Or other things that are coming across the border with people from all over the world of all skin color, right? You have to tread lightly there with the race thing, right? Because it's not about race, right? That's a straw man argument that was created by those who are allowing this to happen. And unfortunately, it's sad to say that it's Democrats, Democratic run cities. And I was away not long ago, remember, where we also have property where, we plan on retiring. It's a Republican run town. Okay. It's a Republican run town. And by the way, they try to extend term limits there as well. The people put a kibosh on it, right? It's a Republican run city. Blacks do well. Hispanics do well. Whites do well. They get along well. The schools are amazing. The streets are clean. It's beautiful. It's safe. But when you go to Democratic-run cities, it's the complete opposite. I get to see both ends of the, both extremes, I should say, right? Well, not too extreme out there. We don't have a, what you might consider, extreme right-wingers. That's not the case out there. People are very friendly, very nice. Doesn't matter who you are. Everybody says hello. People say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Kids are brought up that way, actually. My kids kind of look a little bit like hood when we go out there because we don't say that. We're New Yorkers, right? We're a bit more aggressive and fast-paced. But I am teaching them, and they do say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, right? So respecting down there, right? It's important. And it's a Republican-run place. And Blacks do well. Hispanics do well. Whites do well. Go to church all together on Sunday. Go to eat breakfast afterwards, and we're all together, right? It's incredible. You wouldn't think that. But you come here, look at what we're dealing with, right? Look at what we're dealing with. Why is that? Is it because it's Democrats that are running the show? Is that why? Is that the case? Is that the reason? Right? And by the way, the Republican Party here in the city of Yonkers is, not doing too well, right? They're not doing well. They need to recruit. And right now is a good opportunity for you Republicans to recruit Democrats who who are tired of it, because a lot of Democrats are tired of all this, right? They're tired of this, mass migration, migrants being bussed here, receiving everything, because many people are struggling in this country. So to see people who are not citizens come here and get this type of treatment is very frustrating for Americans. Even those that may not be struggling, but see people homeless and then see the treatment that non-US citizens are receiving, it's very frustrating. Very frustrating. So now is an opportunity for Republicans to do some serious recruiting. Some serious recruiting, guys. Jose Diaz, Yonkers GOP, should be your flagship candidate. He's a Hispanic Republican in a city that damn near is majority Hispanic. And it will be shortly. Right? We're about 2-3% below that of the white population. So you guys should take advantage of that and start to recruit Hispanic and blacks. You see a lot more Hispanic, a lot more blacks supporting Trump. I see rappers making rap music, rap songs about how great Trump is. Here's your opportunity. It's time for new leadership. And those of you in the Yonkers Republican Party who are fed up with what you're seeing, it's time for you guys to step up. This is the time. This is what separates the men from the boys. This is when people step up and shine and become leaders. And there are a few of you in there, and it's time you guys speak up. I mean, it's not okay that you guys are not having candidates in certain races. No race for District 3, no Republican candidate. You guys should have recruited Hector Santiago, right? And other races, there's no Republican challenger. David Tubiolo. Is there anyone challenging David? Oh, no. You saw what happened. So what happened there? And David Tubiolo used to be a Republican. So who really has the power here in the city of Yonkers? We have a strong mayor type of government, right? We have a strong mayor form of government here. And so many people say the Yonkers City Council, the council members are just pointless. There's no reason for them to exist. I don't think that's true. The Yonkers City Council, the council members actually have a lot of power. And, this is something that I was thinking about today. I'm always thinking about politics now. And I started to think about how much power the Yonkers City Council actually has. They vote and approve or not approve items, legislations, right? They are the ones that approve developments that are going to be going up. They approve zoning changes that are proposed. And they also approve the budget. They have a lot of power. They can get what they want if they were to organize and unite. If Tasha Diaz wasn't fighting with Corazon, or Lakeisha Collins Bellamy wasn't out there taking things personal, or if John Rubel would care about more than just himself, or realize that they have the power. 4 Black women, 4 women of color, Corazon Pineda Isaac, Tasha Diaz, Shanae Williams, and Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, the first Black female city council president. Together, they can do a lot. Together, they can show the mayor that they mean business. But unfortunately, they don't work for the people. They don't represent their constituents. They work for those who put them in office. There's no reason why we still do not have an affordable housing ordinance. There's no reason. That should have been the priority of Lakeisha Collins Bellamy. She works in municipal housing. She grew up in housing. She still lives in the community. I'm sure she has family and friends who live in housing. Yet and still, she has not done anything to touch upon a new housing ordinance. Nothing. There is a housing crisis. That should have been the priority of the first Black female city council president who grew up in housing, who utilized her story growing up in Cottage Park Gardens in order to gain voters. Yet and still, she has not done anything to increase the affordable housing ordinance, which is very much needed. Why haven't the four women been able to get together, draft up a new ordinance, introduce it, and get it passed? Why? What has been the issue? What has stopped them? What? Why would the first Black female city council president who grew up in housing focus solely on introducing legislation to extend term limits? Not even a full year in. Or was it a full year? No, was it? No, not even a full year in. And that's what she introduced and has not done anything since. What about Tasha Diaz, who currently lives in affordable housing? She prides herself as being the Tenants Association president over there at Jefferson Terrace. She was supporting affordable housing. You saw the video I played yesterday where she says she is for affordable housing and assuring that she brings more affordable housing to the city of Yonkers, which is much needed, and yet has not done so. She shocked everyone when she decided not to support the new ordinance that she had supported for most of 2021. So why didn't she vote yes to override the mayor's veto? Why have they not introduced a new legislation? Why can't the four women of color set an example, be role models to the large minority population here in the city of Yonkers and get along, work together to get things done? You don't have to like each other. You don't have to go out for drinks afterwards, but you do have to work together to get things done. And why have they not? It's real simple. It's very obvious at that point. When you realize that they have the power to get what they want done and they have not, it becomes very obvious. It becomes very obvious who they work for. They should have gotten together, created a budget. An affordable housing ordinance. Imagine that. The four women of color, getting together, working on a new housing ordinance, introducing it, and getting it passed. But nothing. Nothing. But when it comes to zoning changes, when it comes to approving buildings in areas that constituents do not want them to be built, when it comes to approving zoning changes so that they can build these developments taller than they said they would build them, they vote yes. They make the mayor look good. The mayor makes them look bad. So again, going back to my comment, Madame President, I didn't say you were a little black puppet. I said that's what they consider you because you are doing their bidding. Why are you approving all those zoning changes? Can you give me and the rest of the constituents here who voted for you, who rely on you for representation, a genuine reason why you have been approving all of these zoning changes? Why have you been approving buildings to go higher? Why have you been approving towers, twin towers to be built on Woodworth? Why are you approving that massive development over there in Chicken Island? Did you ever speak with AMS? Remember, you said you were going to have a talk with them. They needed to give more to the community. Have you? Did they decide to give us anything? There's nothing you can do. You know it. You can't say anything, Lakeisha, Tasha, Shanae. You can't. You must do what Precision Strategies tells you to do. That's what got Sandy and Nabi in trouble. So again, when you think about how much power they actually have, and they have yet to do anything for the people, no affordable housing ordinance, no help with all the people getting evicted or being priced out of Yonkers, no help with the homeless, no help with parents who need assistance for their kids and summer camp funding this year, no help with individuals whose apartments are full of black mold because their slumlords refuse to do anything about it because they want them to pay more. No help. No help to minority-owned businesses or any business unless you are their friend. And I love to speak with some of you individuals who have gotten their support, because you'll see me and say, yeah, you're right. I agree with you. I just do my thing, though. Try to stay low. They don't want to ruffle any feathers. They got that support from these individuals. But what have they done for the rest of the people? And how long will they continue to support you? Doesn't last. It doesn't last. So make sure you become self-sufficient, because the day they're done with you, you're going to have to be on your own. And I'm sure many of you have seen it by now happen to many people, i.e., Hector Santiago, Mr. Stop and Shake. Now, the Newswire targets him. They're putting him through the ringer, right? But he was with them. He was out there. Press conferences, events, getting to know the community. But they no longer need him. And that's what happens. So I was just thinking about that. I said, these individuals have a lot more power than they lead us to believe. They are the ones that approve everything or don't approve things. Look at what they are approving and what they are not approving. No affordable housing, even though there's a housing crisis. Term limit extension, approved. All the zoning changes that Wilson Kimball wants, approved. Wilson Kimball's Lakeisha Collins Bellamy's boss. Living in Yonkers is like living in a communist country, and Spano's like Castro and Maduro. That's my point. That's my point. My point is that the city council basically is told what to do. They're told how to vote. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, there's no way around it. Tasha Diaz, there's no way around it. Shanae, I don't think you care. There's no way around it. Corazon, now you care because you want to run, or you were running for mayor. But you guys hold all the power. If the mayor didn't want to pass the affordable housing ordinance, then you say, you know what? We're not going to approve any of the things that you want. Play hardball. You developers don't want to cough up a little more money? You don't want this 20%? Then guess what? We don't approve your developments. Or we take time in moving forward with your developments, with your secret reports and all that stuff. We'll drag our feet. They have the power. They could have passed a housing ordinance. They could have gotten more money for schools. They could have squeezed these developers for more money. They can stop those twin towers from being built on Woodworth, where all the people who live there do not want them there. They can stop businesses from being forced to close. They can help all of these individuals who are being pushed out of their homes, being forced to sell their properties because Lionsgate wants the lot. They have the power. But they don't do anything for the people. They don't do anything. And that's, I want you guys to take away from this podcast, just that. Just another example of how they don't care for the people. I was just thinking about that. They approve everything. Why do they approve everything for the mayor 7-0 if he's not approving, if he's vetoing a housing ordinance when there's a housing crisis? Lakeisha, Black people are in need of affordable housing. Corazon, Hispanic people are in need of affordable housing. Not just the Dominicans, all Hispanics. Tasha, you know, you live in affordable housing. Blacks and Hispanics need affordable housing in this city. Many of them are leaving because they can't find it. Shanae Williams, I know you don't like to associate with a certain class of individuals, but there are people out there that are in need of affordable housing. You know, they don't get everything handed to them. Life is just not that easy for them. And they're Black and they're Hispanic primarily. And so what have you for women of color done for Blacks and Hispanic in Yonkers? What? Nothing. Nothing. Now, one Black and Hispanic resident voter should be voting for these women. Not one. They have betrayed the Black and Hispanic community. They have sold you out. They have lied to you. They have allowed these wealthy individuals to take from you. And they think that you'll be okay as long as they pacify you with some free food, a few barbecues here and there. Did you know that Mulford Gardens, and I've said this before, but if you didn't hear or weren't watching that podcast, did you know that Mulford Gardens lost almost 400 apartments? Wilson Kimball, the president of Municipal Housing Authority of the city of Yonkers, who's also the president of the Mulford Corporation, a nonprofit entity that was formed by Macy to bring more affordable housing to the city of Yonkers. How are they bringing more affordable housing to the city of Yonkers when all they're doing is taking the existing affordable housing, knocking them down, and then going back with less than half of the apartments that were already there? Do you not see what they're doing on the West Side? They're reducing the population of certain individuals. They're doing it quietly. While you're looking at the new apartments that they built with the microwave and the dishwasher in it now, you're not realizing that out of the 500 units they once had at Mulford Gardens, they only came back with a little over 100. So how is that increasing the affordable housing stock in the city of Yonkers? How are they bringing more? The same was done with Cottage. They're just taking over city properties, affordable developments that were already here. They're not bringing any more, but they're making a lot of money. They're making a lot of money. Wilson Kimball and her gang of all white people who are not from Yonkers. But they came here and they took over the affordable housing developments. And so now they hire their own for-profit management companies. So it's no longer the city that's managing the properties. That means that there's less need for city employees. That's why they've dwindled in numbers. How many people have lost their job at housing? They don't need them anymore because they have private management companies now. So people in the city of Yonkers are also losing their jobs as a result. So why does Wilson Kimball get to take the affordable housings that were once owned by the city, along with her investor buddies, renovate them, rebuild less apartments than they had before they knocked them down, hire their for-profit management companies that they set up secretly, quietly, and then are funneling voucher money, federal and state money for housing, for educational things, for mental health, for everything that they put in their vision and mission statement of the Mulford Corporation so they can apply for as many grants, as much funding as possible. Did you know that, Lakeisha? Did you know that your boss, Wilson Kimball, the woman that was investigated by the New York State Inspector General for misappropriation of funds when she worked for another authority, the Battery Park City Authority down in Manhattan? You know, they had their own little apartment that they paid for with the taxpayers' money. They were going on these lavish trips, having lavish dinners on the taxpayer dime. That was just before she ended up here in Yonkers with her husband, who is over at the YIDA. So not only are they controlling the affordable housing developments here and taking them over, she's also the chair of the zoning board. So she will approve anything she wants to do for her developments as a developer. Is that not a conflict of interest? And then her husband can see to it that they get tax breaks. Isn't that a great hustle? Great racket. Chris Johnson, and they're getting on you for that one apartment that you were renting for $1,500 because it was a part of the affordable housing program. But isn't the apartments a part of the affordable housing program also that Wilson Kimball and her crew now own and have taken over? She's doing it on a bigger scale, Chris. How many properties does this Mulford Corporation now own? How many people who once worked for the city no longer have a job because they don't need city employees to do the maintenance on these housing developments anymore because they are now owned privately? How did she buy them? How did they get access to purchasing them? And why is she still the head of municipal housing? Why is she the chair of the zoning board, as well as the boss of the city council president, who, along with other city council members, approve all of her zoning changes? Did you know that, Lakeisha? Do you know how that's working? You, as an attorney, maybe you can articulate to the residents on how there's no issues with doing that? Building your real estate empire using taxpayer money and city property, and you're getting on Chris Johnson for one apartment. And so you see why the city council president We'll approve all of the zoning changes. We'll introduce term limit extensions. We'll do everything that rich white folks want her to do, but she will not help the Black and Hispanics who have been largely impoverished for many, many, many years, decades here in the city of Yonkers, with no end in sight. The cycle of poverty for Blacks and Hispanics will continue for the most part because those that have made it don't care about them. Not as much as they do their white developer friends, Jewish developer friends, funders, bosses. Should I dare say masters? Because you've let the people down. You guys have the ability to create, introduce, and pass a new affordable housing ordinance at 20% when there's a severe need among your people specifically, and you don't care. You'll call your own people beggars. Disgrace. And I hope every Black and every Hispanic resident of the city of Yonkers hears this. Hear how these minority women have sold you out. There's no way you can vote for them. And any Black and Hispanic that does either doesn't know or has some benefit and or interest in seeing them win again. Where are the department heads, Black department heads, Hispanic department heads? Where are the high-ranking police officers that look like you, Lakeisha, Tasha, Corazon, and Shanae? Where are the Black police captains? Where are the Hispanic and Black police chiefs? I see they promoted that fireman guy, Reggie, because he's related somehow to Lakeisha. I think he's a brother-in-law. Those are the people that get the promotion if you're Black or Hispanic. And they have no problem watching a white person tear down another minority just because that minority is speaking truth. So spare me the Black support Black History Month bullcrap. Spare me the BLM bullcrap. Because when it comes down to actually doing something for your community, you don't. Spare me the passing of this month is Black month, this month is Hispanic month. Spare me that nonsense. Because you will watch a Black woman get torn down. You will sit there and watch as they will take a Black woman's career down and say nothing about it. Yet you're going to parade at these Black History Month events, talk about how you're proud, you're dedicating bridges to the first Black whoever. That's all garbage. Garbage. Don't say that stuff if you really don't mean it. If you really don't support your people, don't. Don't say it. Stay home. Because you don't care. I done seen a lot of Black and Hispanics get torn down, and you guys have stood back and done nothing. Lies created about them. You have even been involved in creating these lies against Hispanic and Black men. You think it's okay to go around spreading rumors about a Hispanic male and child pornography, one that has a daycare business? Maria George, the city council president's chief of staff, seem to think that that's okay. A Black woman. Spare me the Black stuff. Spare me that nonsense. It's sad because as much as people say, oh, white people are racist, BLM, you know who have torn down us the most? Our own kind. White people have helped me a lot. Puerto Ricans and Blacks have tried to tear me down. Crabs in a bucket. And so when I see that you guys have a lot more authority and power to get things done and you don't, that pisses me off, because there are a lot of blacks and Hispanics that are suffering, struggling, and you guys will sit up there, the first black female city council president, Black History Month, BLM, blah, 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 blah. You don't do anything to help the lives and improve the lives of black and Hispanics here in this city. Nothing. Not one of you. Not one. And that's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. They have the power to do a lot more, folks. So when they don't do anything for us, because they don't care. And that pisses me off. Have you guys gone over and consoled the mom or spoken to the mom of the 15-year-old boy that went missing? Are you guys bringing this to the attention of the people? No, you don't care. You don't care. They don't care. 15-year-old Edwin Valerio still missing. 7 days. He has now been missing. Initially, police played it as if it was a runaway situation. They said he'd be back when he gets hungry. However, the facts of this case, the facts that are known, suggest that he was lured away from his family. I'm hearing that police have actually contacted the girl he had supposedly met online and was chatting with, the girl who he was supposed to be going to live with at 3 a.m. This is what he told his friends. This is what his friends told his mom. He last made contact with his friends while he was at the Port Authority in Manhattan. So he left Yonkers. He made it down to the Port Authority. He had no money. So who was paying for this? You know, it's crazy that they would initially treat this as a runaway. You should never, never assume safe, be safe, better than sorry. Every missing child should be taken, seriously, and they should get on it right away. They should get on it right away, especially if there's not a history of running away. And so now it's strange that the girl that he was supposedly had been talking to and went to go live with was contacted by police, and she says she doesn't know anything about it. She doesn't know what happened to him. This is very scary. And we don't hear anything from our city officials. Nothing. They're not warning parents, saying, hey, parents, we just want you to know that, this is happening on social media. You got to be careful who your children are speaking with. Nothing. Our city council members don't care. So, folks, hopefully this has a good ending, but it's very scary. Again, has been missing for 7 days now. 7 days after leaving to supposedly go live with a girl he met over social media. It was on a social media platform. His social media accounts have either gone private or have been deleted. His phone is off. And although his PlayStation is missing, there was some activity on the PlayStation account. How serious are police taking this? How hard are they working? The parents are very frustrated because they were, they're upset that the police officer, and I get it, everyone's entitled to a vacation, but he was going on vacation. He said, I won't be back. There's no urgency. There's no sense of urgency in this. And so she's very concerned. The parents are very concerned. And, they're not going to take this lightly. They're going to be doing everything they can. I'll be giving you an update tomorrow. I should be having some more updates on this, folks. I'm up out of here. Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics. Thank you for watching. I apologize for getting upset a little bit, but it bothers me. It bothers me. There's 4 black minority women, a super majority Democrats, and they have yet to get an affordable housing ordinance. They have the power to get this done. They are the ones that approve or not approve for things. Hey, you don't want to raise the ordinance, and we're not going to approve these zoning changes. We're not going to approve these development proposals. Play hardball. They can do it if they wanted to get it done. If I was up in there, that's what I do. I'm not approving nothing until we get affordable housing ordinance. There's no way, as a black or Hispanic individual, especially being the first city council president, black or Hispanic, am I going to introduce a term limit extension, get that passed before I introduce a housing ordinance? What's a need for more? Is there a need for 4 terms, or is there a need for affordable housing, Lakeisha Connors-Bellamy, and the rest of your council? I want to know. Where's the thought process? Why did you feel that a legislation to extend the term limits was more important than a housing ordinance that's so badly needed? It's your communities that are getting gentrified, your people that are being kicked out. But every time Wilson Kimball wants you to approve zoning changes, 7-0, Shanae Williams, you can't even ask Wilson Kimball a question without stuttering. You're scared of that woman. These are the people who run the city of Yonkers. You're scared of that woman. She's gentrifying all of the Southwest and West Side, Northwest, Southwest, West Side. They're building these tall buildings, blocking people's view. Many of the homeowners on that side are black and Hispanic. They don't care. Screw them. Push them out. Block their views. And our 4 women of color say nothing as they... I ain't going to say it. I'm Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. Folks, please understand that point, if anything else. They have the power to get these things done. They have the power to improve the lives of people in the Southwest, West Side of Yonkers. They have the power to get that Getty Square area cleaned up. They have the power to stop these developers from gentrifying everything, taking all the city land. They have the power to stop the zoning changes, to not approve the tax breaks, to assure that the developers are hiring local. They have the power to do that if they work together rather than fight each other all the damn time, rather than fight with constituents all the time. That's why neither one should be reelected. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered District 3. I'm going to be all up in that race. That's for damn sure. I'm on it, man. You guys, I wasn't going anywhere. You thought I was going to go anywhere when you did what you guys did? You thought I was going to go somewhere? Let me know. Did you think I was going to fold? Did you think I was going to leave? Did you think I was going to run with my tail between my legs? No, not at all. The fight's just beginning. It's getting better. I love it. Let's go to war. This is Basement Politics, the place where truth lives in. Is there a tuberculosis outbreak in the city of Yonkers? Are our officials hiding it? According to city officials I spoke with, they know nothing about it. But that doesn't mean that it's not happening. So be careful over there on Tuckahoe Road. We're hearing that it originated at the, sources are telling me that it's originating from the Ramada Inn. I hear that there's also an outbreak that happened at the Tuckahoe Shoprite. So folks, be careful. Be careful, be careful. Call up your council members, call up the county health department tomorrow. Let's find out what's going on. We need to know. This is, a health risk. This presents a problem for us kids, the elderly, seniors, people who have respiratory problems. I think, right? I don't know. I'm no medical expert. I just know it's bad. TB outbreak possible here in the city of Yonkers. Spread the word. Tell them to tune into Basement Politics for updates. I will be staying on top of it, and I will be updating you folks as I get the information. And again, we must vote for new council members. You guys cannot reelect Tasha Diaz. When the city council president race comes up again, we must vote out the city council president. We have to vote out Tasha Diaz. Shanae Williams is out. She's going to the county. I feel sorry for you folks at District 16. Very sorry for you folks. But it's time to vote these folks out. It's time to vote these folks out. Have a beautiful night.